Hello, hello. Edson Oliveira here for DNNHero.com. I have with me Scott. Scott, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
How was your holidays?
It was good. Yeah.
Have some relaxing time?
I
R&R?
yeah, I had some, except for I had the flu on New Year's Eve.
Not a good time to have that.
Yeah. But other than that, it was good.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so I had a fun holiday season too. One of the things that I did actually it was around DNN. Some of you may have read the post that I done called the 10 biggest pain points of DNN in 2014. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit here. I want to discuss a few things with you guys. Did you have a chance to check it out, Scott?
Yeah, I tweeted about it and I
Perfect,
submitted my own.
perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that I want to mention is that some people found that to be a bit negative the results, and I got not negative reviews, but my intention was never to make this uh, about how bad DNN is. I mean, I love DNN. I don't think that DNN is bad at all, but I think that we should practice a little bit of tough love, you know. And that was my exercise of tough love. I here and I want just quickly to go through what was mentioned. Here's what I did. This is basically the result of me myself researching the DNN forums and also sending out a survey to our newsletter subscribers. We got
Mhm.
about 400 responses in terms of what are your pain points on DNN, and the
Mhm.
intention is that this would give us not only DNN Corp but the community as well a framework or a list that to say, hey, people are having difficulties on those different aspects in DNN. So how about we do something about that, you know? And the other thing is that this survey did not just point out the problems, but I went uh, through the trouble or to the research that I did of finding how we could go about each one of those problems. So I'm
Right.
gonna go through all of them quickly here. So functionality really this is people talking about, hey, I wish that this would exist. I wish that that would exist. I mean that's fine. It's expected, you know. You are always wishing that things that would be able to do more with the platform. So
Hmm.
again, that's expected, and I pointed out that you can vote and you can comment and you can post your recommendation on the DNN community voice, which again I posted right here as you guys can see. So the top one was functionality. Functionality, there is not much that we can do about it other than recommending, suggesting. Now the second one is performance. To be honest, that came a little bit of surprise. I didn't think that performance was still such a big issue on the DNN platform, but I don't know. I mean, I just got a little bit surprised about that. But there are lots of things that can be done to enhance performance on the DNN platform. You see, I pointed out a few different things that you can do about that. Not only that, but in 2015, I know that DNN Corp is, a lot of effort uh, is being put in place and will be put in place to
Hmm.
convert this to MVC. And I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but I'm pretty sure that with the eventual move of DNN from web forms to MVC, I'm pretty sure that this should have a very positive impact in terms of performance. Don't you think so?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later about Bogdan's Amazon findings and what he was doing with performance on that micro EC2 instance. But like he said, the bottleneck was a lot of the bottlenecks was in the page lifecycle process, and mainly in terms of the client resources and the page routing or the URL management and that kind of thing. when we go to MVC, that's all going to have to be redone anyway. So the routing and that kind of stuff, especially when later on in the year we do the pure MVC model in in the upcoming, I guess what we're calling it, the DNN, the what do they call it, vNext or whatever.
vNext, yep.
Which is assumed to be the platform 8.0. But yeah, so yeah, that performance will be. I don't know how much there is. It makes sense right now to put a whole lot into performance other than the tunings that we already know about, what you've listed here, because when we go to the MVC routing model, that's all. A lot of that's going to change anyway.
Perfect. Okay, so that was performance. Next big one is upgrades. Now, to be honest, from this whole list, upgrade is the one aspect that I don't think that much can be done to improve, other than following what I have suggested here. I mean, there is a suggested upgrade path. There are videos about upgrading. There are best practices. All those things exist. But to make that process easier, I don't know if anything can actually be done at this point. And actually, I think that before it gets better, it will get a little bit worse, because when it comes time to move from DNN 7-ish to DNN Next or DNN 8, which will be a full MVC version of DNN, that upgrade trouble may even increase a little bit, because it will no longer be an upgrade per se, but it will be more of a, let's migrate from DNN 7 and migrate the data to DNN. I'm going to call it DNN 8. So
yeah,
again, that's the reason why I'm saying that it may get worse before it gets better. I'm just being realistic. I'm not being sadistic here, But I think that's what's in store for us. The good thing is that there will be a lot of people like mutual sellers and a lot of community members and us here on DNN here as well, that we're going to be producing content on how to do those transitions as best as possible, So again, I mean, despair not, So that's my point here.
Part of what I was, one of my pain points, I think, that I submitted, I might have to do with upgrade, but it's more of the portability of user and portal data. When we have customers that have these large multi-portal instances, and upgrade is a huge issue because, like, one of our clients has 300 portals. Have you ever heard of an instance that large? Up until now, I
200, yes, but not 300.
Yeah. So what do you do when you have 300 portals in a DNN 5 or 6 instance that you want to move to 7 or higher? Like, imagine that, right? Imagine you do the upgrade, and okay, the upgrade's no big deal. You just do the upgrade the instance, bring it back up. But then testing, especially if you're going major versions from a 5 instance, testing 300 portal skins to make sure, or 300 portals to make sure nothing went wrong. I mean, and so we have a client that's wanting to, like, extract certain portals out into a new instance, because maybe their business model is that the customers that they get payment from are ready to move on to the newer version, right? And so they just want to move certain portals to upgrade them. And we had to kind of give them a little education that it's not possible to upgrade portals. You upgrade the DNN instance, but then what's the story around trying to migrate portals out of an instance with the users and the module? I mean, it's really hard. Like, Sitefinity has a little bit of a story around it, so I was sort of doing some research on other CMSs that do kind of have that portal extraction process, or that user extraction process. But yeah, that's a pain point, and that's kind of what I see. That's been my trouble with upgrade, is it was with multiple portals more than it has been just
simple upgrade.
Right. In fact, DNN has actually a pretty good upgrade story. When you start looking at other CMSs, like your open source PHP ones like Joomla and Drupal and stuff, I mean, you would actually be surprised. The DNN upgrade, the fact that they do have a process where it's UI based, with the progress bar and that. I mean, Some CMSs don't have anything like that.
Oh, really? So I thought the upgrade process on those ones, at least those two, were would be simpler, but they are not.
I think they've come along, but even like when I looked at it like a couple of years ago, the Joomla upgrade process was very manual. I mean, moving database items and things like that. They've probably come along, but I mean, DNN has been that's one place I think DNN was a little ahead of the curve on.
Okay, okay, but again, based on my personal experience with DNN, I have done over 200 upgrades on DNN over the course of the last 8 years, and I was always able to get through them.
Yeah.
But I have to
There's
tell you
always
that,
something
yeah, I
that
have to
happens.
tell you that some of those upgrades have been, to say the least, challenging.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But again, that's when we involve it, third-party modules get involved in the game as well. So that adds an extra level of complexity. That hey, this is not core to the platform. So what can we do about that? So again, but I do feel that it's always possible to the upgrade. You know, there was never a case that hey man, I gave up on that upgrade. But yeah. So in any case, upgrade is one of the pain points that people have reported. So I could not hide that fact. So and again, few videos and suggest upgrade path to make this easier. Now, fourth pain point, documentation. Um, I would say that documentation and education in general in DNN has been challenging, but a lot has been done. I tend to think, you know, about that from the corp as well. I mean, they have an admin manual, which I'm not sure how really good that is. There's the wiki as well, which they document a lot of stuff. There is also now, of course, if we talk about books, I mean, the last book that came out about DNN, it was 2010, 2011. So on that front, it's been very outdated, you know. But the good news is that there is a new book coming out the end of March this year that will be covering administration, module development, theme development as well. A lot of authors have contributed to that book, so hold on to that, and hopefully we can use that. Now, hopefully the next book will not take another 5 years to be done, but or I hope.
No, we do want. I mean, that's the reason DNN Hero is we're at the top of the DNN education.
So I mentioned there on our resources that DNN Hero, you know, it's there, and we try as best as we can to provide some education, and again, I'm just waiting to get DNN 7.4 out so I can revamp a lot of our tutorials. But again, we give our contribution as well, and we can mention as well DNN Creative, which they do a good job there too. So that's documentation. What else we have there? Modules. Modules, what we have here. So it's a bit of I wish this, I wish that as well. We have people that wish that this module exists, that module exists as well. Again, that's wishful thinking, and that's good, but hard to take care of. But in any way, good feedback. But the other thing that they mention is the problem that you know, some open source modules are not updated that often. Yeah, I mean, again, just keep in mind that open source modules, they are supported by the community, and that relies on people having availability, having time, and having, you know, the desire to contribute. So I mean, again, not much can be done there aside from stimulating people to, you know, to keep their modules updated. I can tell you a few modules that are updated very frequently, like the blog module from Peter Donker, and the too sexy content from the guys. I don't remember where they are from, but Dave Mettler, and again, so there are lots of modules that are, you know, updated frequently, and some that are not. And I understand that that's a fact that we have to live with. I mean, who can take ownership of that? I don't think that anybody can really take that, but that's not the only problem there. We also have some vendors disappearing. So again, people complain that although they have purchased this module and this theme on the DNN store, but that hey, this vendor is no longer available. So again, that's another thing, a fact of life. People go out of business. Business go out of operation. So not much can be done there, but at least now there is something called the DNN Evoke Preferred Product List, which it's a a stamp that DNN puts out there that says, hey, this module here comes from a good vendor. He is here to for the long run, and you can trust them. So I'm just hoping that more and more vendors submit and fit that profile so we can have more there. And again, the list is getting bigger, but I would have thought that at this point we would have more vendors on that DNN Evoke preferred list, because I would think that vendors would be eager to have that seal of that stamp of approval from the DNN Corp. So that was number 5. Yeah. Number 6, themes. Themes or skins, how they were called before. This would range from people not knowing how to get started, which goes back to documentation, as well as people using themes that are becoming too heavy, and they have just some heavy control panels that are making the backend interface a little bit heavier than it usually is. What else we have here? Yeah, so making it a bit heavier from the UI point of view. I think that again, with the move to MPC, this will become better. This thing of turning the admin a bit heavier. See, that's a trade-off that will happen quite a lot. People try to theme vendors try to give more flexibility to users, so they build those control panels that you can change the layout, you can change the color, you can change this, you can change that, you can customize your skin to your heart's content. But at the same time, that creates an extra load on the admin side, and we know that the admin side of DNN is already a bit on the heavy side, So that's what people complain a little bit there. And of course, how to get started. And there are some, what I would call pills for that. There's a DNN UX guide, which I'm not sure how relevant it really is to this point. There is also a lot of, not a lot of, but some DNN Bootstrap videos from DNN Creative. They did a good job there. Hammerflex theme from Chris Hammond. This is a good way to get started on theming. Actually, just going back to one of the things that I'll be discussing next here in this video is that Chris Hammond also incorporated a theme on his template, on his module template. Now there
Project template, yeah.
Exactly. Now on his project template there is a theme template as well. Okay, so that's a good start as well. And there is some interesting skins from themes from Adam Humphrey, and it's called Tidy and Grayness.
Adamer, or is that what he calls
Adamer,
himself?
exactly. That's the one. That's one. Very good guy. Very good skins that
Those have been around for a while. Greatness, yeah.
he has. And but still, it's a good way to get things started. If you are just getting started on skinning, on theming, that's a good place to get started. What do we have now? Number 7, we are going deep here. So I thought that we'd cover this quicker, but not really. So number 7 is the editor. Now, the editor, I'm going to be short here. The biggest problem is that what you see is not what you get. What you do sometimes, or most of the time, inside the editor, inside the right editor, when you save and you go and see it in the page, it's slightly different because the styles applied to the skin are not automatically incorporated into the style sheet inside the editor. I'm not sure if I have too many hopes that DNN, in the near future, that the CK editor will address that. I know that things will be changed. It will be changed because again, right editor will be discontinued, and CK editor will come in its place. If that will fix or not, I'm not sure, but at least I listed a few resources that you can make sure that those are more theme related resources that you can make sure that the styles that are applied to the skin are also applied inside the editor as well. So you can check this out. So that's the editor. Number 8, bugs in general. Well, we should expect bugs in any product, and that's no different with DNN. There's a place to report bugs, which is the link is there on the post. So again, if there's a bug, there's a way to report, and it will get addressed at some point. It will get prioritized and addressed. Number 9, installation. Again, maybe things will change when it goes to MVC, maybe not. But to be honest, I don't think installation is that hard on DNN. Well, maybe I'm very biased because I have done so many, but I've listed a few DNN installation videos that you can go through. There's also the web matrix way of installing DNN, which, to be honest, I don't recommend that approach, but it's a quick approach that it will take care of database, it will take care of everything for you. I just don't like that approach too much, because when it comes time to maybe move that development site to production, things may get a little bit complicated. So again, that's just a method that I don't recommend too much, but it's there anyway. No installation. The 10th, business. So that's a simple one. People complain that modules are expensive, that DNN Evoke is expensive, that this is expensive, that is expensive. Again, not much that can be done there. I know people need to make a living, and DNN is no different, and the DNN ecosystem is no different on that one. Now, whether it's expensive or cheap, the market will decide that. If there is an audience. So again, there's not much that can be done there. And I've listed under number 11 the what I call the long tail. Those were things like we had a lot of spam problems. Actually, just recently I thought about that on DNN Hero. I helped clients with that problem. Again, it's still a bit of an issue there with versions that were not upgraded. So again, spam problems, releases. People think that releases are not getting well tested, some problems with localization, module development, which I listed a lot of different resources there. People are complaining that they are not able to find professionals. Hello, where are you guys looking at? For instance, there's so many people in the ecosystem. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just not easy to find them in a single location. But they're also complaining about backups and restores, that there's nothing built in that takes care of that. Mobile, that admin is hard to do on mobile, but hopefully with the new admin of the next DNN versions that will come out, that will be addressed as well. Problems with security, people are getting hacked. Again, that was reported that maybe once or twice in the survey. Support, that people find hard to get support on the forums, and the forums are too technical. I personally think that forums are doing quite well there. They do their job well. If they are more technical or not, well, that's up for debate. But yeah, there are plenty of forums out there, and the DNN forum is very active, and people are really on top of things there. And deployment, that it gets hard to deploy changes when it's done on a dev environment and goes to a live environment. Yeah, I understand that. It's a bit painful. That was about it. So again, the intention was never to, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Hey, this is wrong, but do this to fix that. Hey, this is wrong, but there's a fix coming out, or there is this has been addressed this year. So again, next time I'll do it differently this year. So I plan to do that survey every year. So this year I'm gonna do 3 things that are painful to you on DNN, and 3 things that you love about DNN. So maybe we have a more balanced post there, okay? And that will please everybody. And I'm not trying to please everybody. And again, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Scott, anything from you?
I felt I no I felt it was constructive. Maybe I'm biased because but no, I think it's constructive and I think it's helpful. So uh,
Perfect. And again, plan us to do that every year and see and do a little checkup every Christmas.
yeah, see how we're improving.
We can plan for the next year. Okay, so the 10 biggest points, man, 26 minutes already. Okay, so we have to do short on the rest of the list here. So next thing that I want to mention is the beta release of DNN 7.4. It's out there. The link is in the post. The only thing that it caught my attention that on that list was they added workflow and the version API to the community edition. I think that's a great addition there. I don't see anything else major there. One disappointing point for me is the fact that the CK editor didn't make it yet. So we still have the right editor. The CK editor seems to be coming in a future minor release, but that's about it. Anything from your end of that front?
I'll have to check out. I haven't downloaded the beta yet, so but yeah, maybe in February I can do something on the workflow API because it's something that allows module developers to participate in joining that kind of workflow process. So I think it's a big thing, good thing for module development.
Got it. What about now coming up? What about the Evoke release? Because you were talking a little bit about the Evoke 8 release.
Yeah, really strange. We go from Evoke 2.1 or 2.0.1, I can't remember what it was, and we jump all the way to 8. And I think just like we mentioned before in our conversation, it's going to start going that the Evoke numbers are higher than the platform numbers. I think that's why the jump. They decided that they want to release the Evoke version first, and then the platform follows with regard to the versioning numbers. So Evoke 8, we just had a preview from Will, a partner. There was a partner webinar this past Wednesday. I mean, talking about the pain points, I mean, from the administration, it's drastically different. Being able to drag an image right onto a pane and there's your banner image without having to drag the HTML module, wait for the page to reload, then upload your image, and then it's just drag right from your desktop onto the pane and image. A lot more Ajax-y, no postbacks. So I think it addressed a lot of that stuff. Even stuff like the ability to preview, or actually they have the ability to create pane structures within the panes. So that's one of the things that people don't like about the HTML is that even within the pane you might have to style things and float things a certain way, and you have to learn HTML to do that, or know that you're using Bootstrap or something. So they have the ability now to create layouts within the pane, and it's responsive as well. So lots of stuff like that. The personalization stuff was pretty neat. The ability to create a different version of a page that would be like if this user is from a certain geography, or if they're mobile, or if there's several different attributes, and to be able to show a different page. In Will's demo, it was a product page, and the product had a different price on it. Not that it's a good idea to do products as static HTML, but you know what I mean, that type of thing where you could make different offers to people maybe that are coming from social network links, and the page changes based on those type of things. That's something I've only seen in products like Episerver, or these higher end CMSs that cost a lot of money. So that's really cool. And then the ability to preview it in a mobile. They have inherently built in the admin the ability to take your page and say, show it in a mobile, and it actually, not an emulator, but it actually shows like what it could look like in certain widths and sizes. So being able to just do a one-click and previewing it in different ways. But yeah, the UI is drastically improved, but again, that's for the professional. So they're going to jump up ahead of the platform number, and that's coming out January 27th, and there's a live preview that was basically, I think Will's going to do the exact same thing he did for the partners. The preview that we had this week, again, when the launch is on the 28th at 9 a.m., there's going to be that webinar. I think that's going to be a bit for anybody. So yeah, and then I guess that's going to be the new UI that's going to be later on in the year for the platform. I think that's going to be what it is, or very similar.
So I think that one thing that again, whoever is watching this would be asking is, okay, that's great, but that's an evoke. I mean, and again, I don't. I'm sure that you don't know, but the key question is which one of those aspects will trickle down to the community edition. You know, to
Yeah.
and not
Probably some of the basic UI, the basic UI of not having to, again, wait for the drag a module onto a pane, wait for the page to post back. Probably some of the, I'm assuming the plumbing is going to all be changed in the DNN Platform 8, so that you'll have that much improved admin. Now yeah, some of the, I'm sure personalization is going to be a professional feature, because that's much more a higher level thing. I'm sure that's not going to go, but yeah, I think the persona bar and the drag and drop and the Ajax-y administration is gonna be what we're gonna get in the platform, which is gonna be really nice.
okay. So again, looking forward to that release there and seeing what will come out of that with the evoke to the core. Um, Going back here to the holiday season, I saw a very interesting list sent by the DNN store with the top modules and themes of 2014. I just want to bring this up here if I'm able to. Okay, just 1 second here. I should have, yeah, perfect, it's here. So again, nice list here. The nice thing is that I featured some of those skins throughout our last conversation. So again, Porto is really nice theme, and this one here as well, which I have personal experience with that one. Responsive, not a very nice name, but responsive theme 045. That's a nice theme as well. Uh, and again, you should check this out. I mean, if you are a subscriber, if you have ever purchased a module or theme from the store, you should have received this list. Have a look, and you're gonna see which ones are. You know, I have to tell you, one thing that amazes me is Scott, is that Hot Cakes Commerce, which is not a cheap module. It costs 17, $100. It's the second top module. Now, again, the what I'd ask is, how is this list built? I mean, was that in the number of sales? Was that in revenue? Because if it's in revenue, then I understand why it would be second. But if it's in the number of units,
I don't know. I mean, people say that's expensive, but we're about to launch our Bravo search module on the store too, and it's going to have I'm not going to say the price now, but it's going to be a lot more than the average module. But I have to say, $1,700. We just actually we're looking at Blue Bolt. We're looking at a client that's going to be that's recently just decided on DNN and hotcakes. And I mean, when you look at what all the features that it has, and you compare it against other professional CMS with e-commerce grade, EB Episerver and those type of things that Sitefinity that have e-commerce. I mean, it is actually a bargain when you couple that compared to like the Episerver, Sitefinity, similar offerings. I mean.
So actually, what you're comparing there is really solutions, an e-commerce solution here and there, not within the.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 1,700 as opposed to what, tens of thousands. I mean, in some cases. So I don't see it as being expensive, and I think like with the Bravo Squared stuff too, we're going to be a very premium vendor, but I think the larger these clients and installations get, that the prices have to come up. I mean, a $30 module, $100 module is not going to do it.
Yeah, you see, I guess that my bias is because my point of reference was, hey, this is the ecosystem and this is the average price, and that stands out. But again, when you come from that perspective of, hey, let's compare this e-commerce with not with other e-commerce solutions out there. I see. Good points. Very good point.
So, but yeah, I think it's probably in sales. That's probably why they're top. I think it is. It's probably not in units sold, but I don't know. I mean, I think they're doing pretty well. So,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, Will is. I mean, he knows what he's doing, and not only technically, but marketing wise as well. Will Stroh, who's the product manager, director. I'm not exactly sure, but he's the guy right now behind, at least the front guy behind Hotcakes. Okay, so those are about those lists that I want to mention about an interesting initiative, an interesting website that came out this holiday season called thanksean.org, put together by Timo, and I'll leave his last name for you guys to guess. But thank you, Timo, for that website. I mean, it's just a site showing appreciation for what Sean Walker has built with the sparkle of DNN. I mean, he was the one that brought DNN to light. He brought DNN up to where it is, about a year ago, and I mean, he's just not there anymore. But that's a website to thank him, and I still have to put my thank you there. But very nice initiative. Mention about Hangout. Hangout, that's every month. There was a DNN Hangout just this past Thursday, January 15th, with Will Stroh, Joe Brickman, and the Lopez brothers, Aaron and Dylan. They are from Canada, by the way. So they were talking about, one, how to do beautiful themes. And that was a nice talk. He went actually deep into how to create themes and use less as the CSS compiler. So I'm not going to go in details here, but CSS compiler is a big trend right now on website design. So you should definitely check it out if you are doing theming. And then Dylan Lopez, he talked about his experience on building a SaaS product using DNN. So again, very very good talk there. You should definitely check it out. And again, there are various news points that they bring to light as well. Next hangout will be about Windows Azure, which should be a nice one too. What do we have more? So DNN book, we have already talked a little bit about that. Not going to go deeper into that. 10 times faster DNN Sharp. Okay, there was this webinar from Bogdan Litescu from DNN Sharp talking about how to make DNN faster, which is one of the pain points that was highlighted in my survey, in my post. So I mean, he really went through a lot of different suggestions, recommendations. Some are not that easy to apply if you are just a regular user. Some are real recommendations to incorporate to whoever is working on enhancing DNN. And I think that there are various valid points that he brings to light. Scott, have anything to mention on that?
Yeah, no, I sat through the seminar, or the webinar, and it was really good. And in fact, we're going to post a link to the YouTube. I think that's the YouTube version of that webinar. But yeah, brings to light some of the bottlenecks and I was surprised it was more not on the database or business logic side, but it was more on like the URL management and client resource management were the bottlenecks between, because he was very heavy on pages per second. All his stats are in this the same configuration running on Azure got this many pages per second versus on the micro EC2 on Amazon micro EC2 that he was but yeah, it was really fascinating. He showed how you can eliminate some of the pain points just with the DNN Sharp URL module and some of the other tweaks that he did. And like you said, some of them were easy to do and some weren't, but and some were just touting the fact that the Amazon environment just worked better than Azure in some cases. So So a comparison of the environments too and the hosting. But yeah, it's really, really worth checking out. And but the difference between setting up an environment getting 10 pages per second versus 40 to 50 pages per second, I mean, that's really, it's not just a, that's a pretty big drastic increase. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. We'll provide that link.
Very true. Okay, so next one in line here, Chris Hammond. I quickly mentioned that before. I just want to highlight that. Now he added a theme template to his project template. So again, I'll be posting the link to his post talking about that. So it's very relevant to whoever wants to get started on theming as well. Um, that's that one. Interviews. I'm going to talk a little bit about the interviews that I have done and I'll be doing next. I have done an interview this past December with Dave Smith from Smith Consulting. They are the ones behind Smith Cart. Nice interview. Check it out. I'll be doing another interview next week with Ian Sampson from Glanton Solutions. They are an Australian-based vendor, and they have a very popular active directory module that connects DNN with Active Directory to perform a lot of different things, including single sign-on, synchronization. So they are really experts on that area. So again, they have the module when it comes to Active Directory. So nice interview that I'll be doing next week. The third one that I want to mention is my people is still talking to their people, so it's not settled yet, but I may be doing an interview with Will Morganweg about the new Evoke Content 8.0. So that might be coming up. That's about the interviews. I'm now going to talk a little bit about the picks of the month. I have a pick for a skin and a pick for a module. For not skin, theme. I have a pick for a theme. So the theme that I decided to pick is called Aura. It's done by, and I'm going to open the page. So let me see if I can find that quickly. Aura. Perfect. So here it is. So the theme is done by Armand Datema, called Nokiko, and it's a very nice theme. It comes in 8 colors, and I have had a bit of experience using this theme because I put together this website again during holiday season called deskpod.com. I'll get in details about that later on, but bottom line is that this website is using this skin. So again, this is the demo skin, and this is the website that I put together using that skin. So very flexible, very nice, and it comes with this thing called a theme builder. So instead of having those themes that has dozens and dozens of different layouts of a row with 2 columns, a row with 3 columns, a row with 5 columns, with 6, with 7, with 8, and instead of having all of that extra panes, you can use this theme builder to build your own layout just by selecting which rows you want to use. I'm going to give an example. I'm on the header. I can just drag and drop one. I can drag a title bar. I can drag a breadcrumb if I want. I can drag a pane. So on the panes here, which is the main content of the site, you have various different types of panes here. See, you have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, and then you just add the ones that you want. So I can just drag it quickly here, and now I have 2 panes. Then you can click on theme, create theme file, you can select the color, and boom, you just download and upload that to your website, and you have this, nice, simple theme or skin or theme variation to be used on your website. So again, I highly recommend that you check it out. This is the Aura theme from Armand. And in terms of pick of the month for module, I get notified by Onactech. They came out with something called DNN Ninja Performance Profile, going back to the performance problem. This is still in beta version, and they are inviting their own subscribers to test this module or this tool. And it's a tool about analyzing how your DNN website is performing and giving recommendations on how you can improve that. So very nice tool. I really got intrigued. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. It uses a lot of the free tool called Glimpse, which I have a video on that already done a few months ago, but very much worth checking that out. That's about my picks of the month. Um, Scott, from your side, what are coming up next in terms of videos for DNN Hero?
Yeah, well, one thing I did is over the holidays I did revamp my .NETnuclear.com site, so everyone can check that out. Next video probably will be at the end of this month. Will be on iPortable, being able to allow your module to export and import and participate as part of a page template. So I'll probably do that. That'll be a quick one, and then upcoming, I think, like I said, when I get my hands on the stable version of 7.4, I'll try to do something on the workflow API and how module developers can use that. And then after that, we'll have to see. Maybe by that time, we'll have a 7.5 MVC beta version coming out that I can whip together something on that.
Remember that you are our insider in the MVP group. Okay, so you are our insider there. So keep bringing those news. Okay.
Right, IOL.
Okay, so to finalize, and I mean we are pretty much close to 50 minutes here. So whoever has survived this far in this chat will still have to check my plug here. I want to plug this service that we came up with last holiday season. It's called DeskPaul, and this is supposed to be your DNN help desk. The concept is that if you need DNN support, we can do that for either a fixed monthly fee, and you can submit unlimited support tickets, or you can do one-off type of a task with us. Bottom line is that here we try to address most of those pain points that were highlighted on the article, on the post that I have put together. And again, here one key aspect here is that cost is really under control. You know how much you'll be spending. There's no surprises here. That's the key aspect here, and we'll take care of your DNN website if you are having a problem, if videos are not enough for you. So again, deskpaul.com, check it out. Let me know what you think. I would be curious to see some feedback out there. Okay, Scott, any plugs from your side?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
Perfect. Okay, just a quick note. I forgot to say we had such a good feedback from DeskPaul that we decided to open just a very limited number of clients this month, and we are in our final stretch. So we just have 5 more spots to be filled until the end of January. So again, if you see some value there, check it out, and we have just 5 more spots to fill it out. Anyway, that's about it. Scott, thank you very much, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll talk to you next time.